never mind that. What was that?
Hi.
Ooh. Who are you?
BARFF.
Not in here, mister. This is a Mercedes.
Nah, that's my name. BARFF.
BARFF? What are you?
And here we go. BARFF Fantasy Football Podcast, Season 6, Episode 2. Here we are in the bunker. This is Brian the Commish. I'm joined in the studio with the co-host of the show. Walt is here, owner of Born to Run. Good to see you.
Nice to be here.
And a special guest, the captain Chris crossing the USA and landing here in the BARFF Fantasy Football Podcast bunker. The owner of Sotie Pantloads, Kyle's here. Kyle, how are you tonight?
I'm doing well, Commish. Great to be in the bunker.
All right, I love it. A lot of people can make their way here. It's getting out. That's the problem. But
once you get in, there's no getting out.
All right, the phone lines in the chat are available to all as we start to take a look at BARFF Week 2 action. Walt, we want to jump right into these games. Where do you want to start in BARFF Week 2?
Well, let's start with us, the battle of the podcast host.
Right.
Not that there, unfortunately, was not much of a battle.
Well, I mean, we're going to talk about these games, but there's not a lot of goodness to talk about.
No, these games
mean, game-wise, performance-wise, 5 teams we're going to talk very good things about, and there's 5 teams that we may not talk much about at all. And so, I'm in the wrong week. We had Born to Run taking on the Knuckleheads. Everyone loves to see the Knuckleheads come to town, and Born to Run was no different in this respect, taking a 159.65 to a paltry 95.45 by the Knuckleheads. Walt, tell me about this game.
I mean, it's just one of those weeks. I don't think it would have mattered who I would put in. My whole team, including the bench, had a decent week. So it just, those are the kind of weeks you just got to say, chalk it up and say, hey, it just wasn't my day, and it was my day. So, I mean, to me, it was just, again, just a great week. I had scoring from every single person on my team. Even the defense kicked in with 11 points. It was top to bottom. And then I think, the surprising, I guess, you got some low production out of like Evans, Mixon. He got dinged up, so that's understandable. But your receivers kind of had a little bit of a power outage last week.
Yeah, it wasn't good. I would also like for Pat Mahomes to start playing a little bit more Mahomes-like than he has been.
That's a good point.
Get this scoreboard off your face, Kyle. There we go.
He's never looked so good.
Face for radio.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't gotten that 20-point game. It's only been 2 weeks, but I haven't gotten that 20-point game out of Pat Mahomes yet, and he's sitting at quarterback number 12 in the league. So that's not what I was expecting when I
not where you drafted him. That's right.
Right, Kyle, when you look at this game, an absolute clobbering of the Knuckleheads by Born to Run, what stands out to you looking at this?
I would say, your wide receivers didn't really do much. Like Pittman, I don't think Anthony Richardson, he's like a freak athlete, but I don't think he's very good at playing quarterback.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%.
So that hurts Pittman.
He made duty in his pants on Sunday.
Yeah, exactly.
He did nothing.
And you see highlights, he must have had a good game. Yeah, and then you see all 3 throws were the only ones that he completed.
Yeah.
So, I'd say that was the main one. And then obviously, Born to Run here, his whole team kind of just played well. So, you just got to, chalk that one up to if you're going to have a bad week, might as well be a week that the other guy scores once.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah, if I had scored 150 points, I'd be very sad. I gave up on this game very early.
Yep.
So that wasn't so painful.
And one more win, I'll equate my total, I think, of last year,
That's
if
true.
I'm not mistaken.
That's true. It was a 3-11 year for
I'm trending up.
Run. Although you didn't finish last.
Somehow.
All right.
Savage is wondering, is that a B-Town T-ball jacket? The Bruins?
The Bruins? Who's saying that?
The Belchertown Red Sox. That's what it is.
That's impressive.
Well, it is fair weekend, so I understand.
Yeah, we're here for fair weekend.
Yes, it is definitely fair weekend. All right, so let's get out of this game, and Kyle, let's go and look at your game.
Family Feud.
Civil War, Family Feud game, Sotie Pantloads taking on worst team ever, and just like we saw with Born to Run taking out the Knuckleheads, this was a beatdown, worst team ever, scoring 166.4 points, taking out Sotie, putting up 92. Kyle, tell me about the pain.
Well, the pain started when Tua, obviously, our dearest Tua, went down Thursday night.
Yes.
Once that happened, Tyreek's not going to do anything much after that. Kincaid didn't have much, so after the first night, I think I only had, because I had Kincaid and Tyreek, I only had 13 points.
Yeah.
Those are supposed to be two of my better players.
Right.
And then Sunday rolls around, and Ty's whole team just played well. So kind of similar to your matchup. I saw what he's doing against me. I'm like, if there's a week that I'm only going to put up 92, it's okay. That's the week that, I'm getting crushed.
Yeah,
So.
they blow up. Walt, is Jordan Mason, that was the plug-and-play of the week, or did someone make a better move than that?
No, he was smart. I don't know if he got. I thought he might have gotten criticized a little for taking the handcuff, but that was a really good call. And Mason's really solid. He's going to get carries, so good for worst team ever. Honestly, I'm shocked he hasn't called in because usually he likes to gloat a little on a week where he gets 166.
He needed this one,
Yeah, he did a little,
Yeah.
or a little morale for him. But when looking at Sotie, he's right about Tyreek, but I also worry about Pacheco too as well, going on IR and looking to miss a significant amount of time.
Yeah.
Might be more 92 days in the
Well,
future for Sotie. Maybe.
I got Peyton Hillis 2.0 on my roster now. Carson Steele. So
Okay.
we'll see how that turns out. But yeah, it's not ideal, obviously. So
Some concern for Sotie.
Yeah,
They're taking some hits there.
yeah.
The bugs have reached up. I feel like worst team ever is an experienced Christian McCaffrey owner, so that I think that they went into the draft feeling the pain and knew they had to make that move for
But
to get the handcuff.
it's kind of like he's Eeyore. He was expecting it to happen, so he. It's almost like getting the handcuff. He wants it to happen. He wants the satisfaction.
He willed it into existence.
He will.
Self-fulfilling prophecy, as I always say. Yeah.
All right, Walt, where do you want to go?
Let's look at the defending champs, Soaring Eagles.
Soaring Eagles.
Another nice victory for them.
Eagles were
first victory, right?
First
they lost
victory.
last week. Yeah.
Yep. They break into the winning column in style with a 151.6 win over no lineup at 102.75. This was a rematch of last year's championship game. Both teams now sit at 1-1. Walt, what was the key to victory for the Eagles soaring this week?
There's no question that you got Amon-Ra St. Brown, was back. Rashid Rice, so the receivers were good production out of the running backs. I mean, this just was one of those weeks. He got good production top to bottom, and again, Jordan might be the kicker whisperer. I mean, he got 20 points out of his kicker, which is always bodes well for a victory if you get that kind of production out of your kicker.
Yeah.
And Christian, not a horrible week. I mean, but like you. I don't know if he's concerned about Lamar Jackson. There's another one. Just not getting a lot. Kyle warned him, though.
Yeah.
Kyle warned. Didn't you had him last year?
Yeah,
You
Lamar
warned
stinks.
him. Yeah, see, there
He
you go.
stinks.
Yeah, he warned him. So
Lamar stinks. Yeah, he gets there's some concern. Taysom Hill's a polarizing figure in fantasy football, and you want to see him get utilized the way that everyone talks about preseason. Oh, this guy's going to get maybe some wildcat reps. He's going to be used as a fullback, a running back, a wide receiver.
Right.
And then he lays eggs like this probably half the season. It seems consistently.
yeah, you're on a roller coaster with him. And then injury bug, of course, hit him a little. Cooper Kupp went down, so that's another concerning injury.
Yes.
Long term, allegedly.
Yep.
Long term injury.
Yeah, I look at this bench, and Malik Neighbors was pretty much the only person that Daniel Jones would throw the ball to. Of these receivers, Malik Neighbors, Amari Cooper, Jaden Reed, Rome Odunze on the bench. Who substitutes in this lineup for no lineup needed now?
It's Neighbors, no doubt. Like you said, I watched the game. He just was locked on him, and so he's going to get a lot of targets, no matter. He's going to be a solid starter going forward.
Kyle, do you take Neighbors and plug in that lineup, or do you look at Cooper, Reed, or Odunze?
I really just gotta go with Neighbors. Even though Danny Dimes not very good at football, but at least Neighbors is talented enough to make something happen. So I'd say you just gotta go, especially after the week he had. You gotta go with him, which I think he is.
No
I think
question about it.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, where do we go next week two? Actually,
This was maybe really much a big beat down to Beans.
oh boy.
And I don't know.
Yep.
I'm waiting for Tony to call in. I want to know if there's some desperation ready to sink in. Because he's 0-2 now.
Huey Lewis in the News moves to 2-0, and they're in first place, putting a 148.3 to 80.75 beat down on Boston Beans. The Beans fall 0-2 down into the sour in 10th place, and no love from top to bottom. You take Jalen Hurts out of the equation, and you've got a bunch of single digits going down.
Yeah, it was a real stinkeroo.
That's a hard game as an owner to endure.
I mean, you get nobody in like nobody made double digits, right? Except his kicker. Yeah. That's when it doesn't bode well.
Yeah.
You look at his score and you're like, does the ESPN app have that right? Like all those single digits?
I know.
Right. It looks like it should be 40 points.
Right. Yeah, that's tough. Especially Rashad White, now a little dinged up in Tampa Bay. It only puts up 3.3 points in an offense that's been clicking. So that's very concerning to me.
Yeah. I mean, losing A.J. Brown, too, that doesn't help. That, would he draft him? Probably second round or third round. Yeah. So, not having that guy in your lineup, that's a big hit for sure.
Yeah, he's got a real injury problem. Mostert looks like he's going to be out for a while.
Yep.
He had Nick Chubb as someone he was going to unleash later. Now you've got A.J. Brown. Evan Engram is week to week. A lot of players putting up zeros on the roster for the Beans right now in a tough start to the season.
And that's the danger of, rostering guys for later.
Yeah.
If you go, 1-4 or, 2-6, later's too late sometimes.
Right.
And it's always a strategy. It's a tough call. He rolled the dice. I don't know if we'll see if it's going to end up hurting him or not.
Yeah. Yep, that's tough. It's going to be hard. On the other side of the ball, though, Huey Lewis in the news continues to start the aforementioned Anthony Richardson, who puts up Anthony Richardson type points at this point in the season with 11.9. Not a good week, but Alvin Kamara with 46 points
against the Cowboys,
against a good defense.
Yeah.
What's supposed to be playing?
Yeah, now that was I got to say of the week, that was the shocker of the week to me.
Yep.
I couldn't believe Kamara had that kind of day. But this could end up being close to the steal of the draft. I mean, I was poo-pooing on him, and the Saints offense it looks amazing.
Look like a juggernaut.
Yeah. I saw the stats, like their touchdown on drives it's through the roof. So they look like they're going to be a really good offensive team.
I think they've scored on 15 straight drives.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's what I saw. Yeah, thank you.
So crazy.
Yeah, that's insane.
Travis Kelce pulling in after a couple weeks as the 30th ranked tight end. Is this a trend or is this an aberration?
It always happens to all of us. You meet a girl, you kind of fall in love. He's falling into the trap. The legs aren't there. I could go on and on. It's just
he's too busy going on tour with.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Show business.
So I don't know. It's alarming.
All right, the last game that we have to talk about is Whopper Moppers picking up their first win of the season in style, going 150.45 over the Springfield Rifle. Rifle put up 119. The Rifle put up the hardest fight of the bottom five this week, but to no avail. They still lose by a good margin, falling to 0-2. Walt, for Whopper Moppers, Baker Mayfield leading them. Looking at this lineup with Mayfield, Gibbs, Justin Jefferson, he's got Trey McBride working the tight end position. He gets 17 points out of his kicker this week, Brandon Aubrey. Do you see weaknesses in this lineup?
I like his lineup a lot. I mean, except for obviously Mayfield and Prescott. That's kind of living on the edge there.
Baker Mayfield, the number one ranked quarterback through 2 weeks.
Yeah, wow.
How long can that last?
Not long. Week 3? I don't know. That's all I could think. But, hey, no, the Moppers, I said it when they came out of the draft. I thought he had a good draft. I thought Jefferson was great value there. DJ Moore is going to get his looks. McBride. Zay Flowers looks good. He did a nice job. I think the Rifle looks like they might be having one of those seasons again. Man, now there's a snake-bitten owner, I think, a bit. The Rifle's been down for a little.
I agree, and I think if we look at the standings, I don't have them in front of me, but I think the Rifle is, again, it's only 2 weeks, but I think he's got the most points scored against again, and he is always in that mix.
Yeah, it's crazy.
His team's good.
It is. Yeah. 119, you're going to win a lot of games out of 119. Not this week.
He would have beat 4 other teams in the league, for sure.
Yeah.
Except for
that's all part of it.
That is tough. That's week 2 action. Let's take a look at the standings. After 2 weeks, it's early. It's not time for anyone to panic yet, although the knuckleheads can panic at any point during the season, and it's justified.
And the Beans, potentially.
Well, the Beans, that's just a
Beans
proud
should
owner.
panic,
They're just
very
Yeah.
proud.
they're like,
But usually if I, kind of crap on the Beans, then they usually roll off a few wins. So, Tony, I just did you a favor.
just trying to help them out.
Yep.
Yeah. So Huey Lewis in the News is our number 1 team after 2 weeks at 2-0 based on points for. Born to Run pulling in a tie for first, but they lose out by the differentials, still at 2-0. Whopper Moppers, Soaring Eagles, worst team ever, no lineup needed in the Knuckleheads, and Sotie Pantloads, all at 1-1. Giant log neck in the middle. A Rifle are still looking for their first win. Snake Bit team, as we discussed, and the Beans. The Beans may have to be sweating quite a bit. They're in the cellar right now after 2 weeks, 0-2, looking to turn it around. All right, that was week 2 action. We've got the standings up. What I didn't do, and I'm ashamed to say this, but my apologies to Soaring Eagles, but I did not capture the graphic for the Blitz. So this week we're not going to have the graphic. However, we are going to play the Blitz. And so I don't want to tie up this phone, Walt. I'm going to ask you to do the timing.
Oh, absolutely.
I gotta lock it in.
So we know the rules of the Blitz. The Blitz, each owner gets 10 questions, and we're going to judge you on getting the questions right and how much time that it takes you to get them right. Now, just like a Blitz, just like the game of football itself, these questions are not difficult. This ain't hard, but you have to be able to perform when it's time to perform with a little bit of pressure. And so you're going to get 10 questions. Are you ready? Sotie Pantloads.
Let's hear it. Let's do it.
All right.
Did I close my eyes?
Oh, look at this.
You do it however you want to do it. All right. Well, as soon as I start the first question, go ahead and hit that timer.
Alrighty.
And what branch of the military has a flight school based in Pensacola, Florida?
United States Navy.
Carson Steele plays for what NFL team?
Kansas City Chiefs.
The runner-up in the 2023 BARFF championship game was?
The no lineup needed.
Worst team ever has won how many BARFF titles?
0.
7 times 3 equals.
21.
The University of Colorado is located in what city?
Boulder.
Your player with the most overall fantasy points this season so far is?
Tyreek Hill.
No.
Ooh. Oh man. Derrick Henry.
No.
Oh shit, my team sucks. Let's see. Oh, Jaden Daniels.
Yes, Ukraine is currently at war with what country?
Russia.
The capital of Rhode Island is?
Ooh. Providence.
Yep, the U.S. Civil War was fought in what country?
The United States.
Very good, stop. There we go. That's
Not bad.
What did we get?
46 seconds.
46
The top
seconds.
scoring fantasy player. I'm like, damn, my team sucks. I don't even know who that could be.
Honestly, I probably would have taken it 5 minutes to get that one.
Because it was tough. Because I didn't start Jaden Daniels week 1, so I kind of forgot about that
Yeah.
32.
Yeah.
That's
interesting. Well, I didn't realize he was the top scorer.
For him, right?
Oh,
now.
for
Yeah,
him.
on his team.
I thought. Okay, I see.
And Rhode Island, I don't know why Narragansett was yelling in my head.
Narragansett.
Ben loves Narragansett, so I'm like, that's got to be something.
That was the Blitz. My apologies to Soaring Eagles. We'll get that on. Maybe I'll edit it in the after in the post production. But we'll get that on for next week. That was just a time crunch today that I didn't expect. All right, that was the Blitz. Let's look ahead to this week. It's already started. We're Friday. The Thursday game was already played last night with the Jets putting a beat down on New England. But let's take a look at what we've got coming up in BARFF for week 3. Walt, we've got the Knuckleheads taking on worst team ever. Right now the projections have, because a game has been played, worst team ever winning this one handily by 20 points, 130 to 110 over the Knuckleheads. What do you think about this game?
Yeah, I don't get it. He got 18 points out of Brees Hall, which is a really nice start. So I guess I don't understand that at all. Other than, you got Mixon in your lineup and Pittman, maybe because of those in there as a doubtful and a questionable. Maybe that's why it's showing that. Ty's got a tough team. But it's starting to be filled up with handcuffs. He's got Charbonnet putting in for Walker. Well, you got Mason, you got him, Godwin. His team's good. Harrison had a huge week, but like I said, you got a great start. I assume Evans is going to have a nice bounce back. Mahomes in Atlanta, I would think that's going to be worth some points. I think it's going to be closer than what that point spread says.
Kyle, what do you think? Worst team ever versus Knuckleheads?
Yeah. I don't know about like Charbonnet. I don't know if he's that good.
Right, yeah.
Jordan Mason, I mean, he's been playing well. I think anyone would be a good running back in that offense, like their line.
Correct.
But Marvin Harrison, we'll see if he can replicate it against
Detroit.
The only thing is, like, Joe Mixon, what's happening with him? Question mark there. And Kamish, I already texted about it, but just picking up Cam Akers, just having that
almost dooms you,
presence.
though.
Yeah.
That's an excellent.
We're in a room full of guitars. I would play the bit of the song that I wrote last night.
That was well done.
That was very well done.
Yeah,
Very well done.
You just hate seeing that name on any BARFF roster. But I think Kamish can still pull it out,
It's
a good start from Brees.
Yeah.
I think that's a good
18
base.
points you get out of a back. You're pretty happy.
That's a good start.
Yeah, I was happy with that. We'll see. I gave up my $8 pickup of who did I pick? Alexander Madison to throw Cam Akers in my lineup. I'm looking for some level of mojo. It's either going to blow me out of the water, or maybe it'll be a spark.
You bid on Madison, right? And then later that day,
I dropped it. Yeah, I threw $8 away. So that's okay.
That's I like that. That was really.
It's like you put money in the pot that goes around in church.
Right. I guess my starting is 142. That's what I have on my budget this year. All right. Where do you want to go next for this week?
Let's see. Well, let's talk about battle of first place. Me and Huey.
This is well timed. A nice early season game against two undefeated teams that aren't going to be undefeated at the end of the week. Born to Run takes on Huey Lewis in the News. Right now, the projections have Born to Run taking this 129 over 118 after the first games were played. So, Walt, do you think that holds up? Do you take this victory?
Again, I wonder about these projections. I had two guys or two players or whatever, defense and a player play. I mean, the Jets bailed me out, that's for sure. Stevenson with a .3.
Ugh.
I mean, he had a 2.3, but that fumble at the end, But the Jets absolutely, like, me and Kyle were talking, you kind of flip it and you say, okay, you split that up. If my running back would have got 17 and the D.3, I really wouldn't have been that concerned and be like, okay, yeah, whatever.
Sure.
What a D. So, yeah, I think that definitely helped me out. I mean, it's going to be Kamara. This is going to be a week to see if he's like the real deal, because I think Pittsburgh's D looks pretty tough against the run. So he's got some tough matchups. I mean, well, maybe Barkley, not so much, but I don't know.
Ridley against Green Bay.
Yeah, Ridley. Yeah, and
they're just going to run the ball the whole time.
Yeah, and Richardson, like you said, I'm not so sold on Richardson at all. So yeah, I don't hate it.
All right, we're getting our first chat of the season. Koos is weighing in with hi, and the podcast has.
We say hi back.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, it's good to see. It's good to see the first chat of the season. I don't know whether we're starting early for people or what's going on, but we haven't had a whole lot of chatter going on.
Maybe it's the Friday night lights,
It could be.
Tom's out partying too much.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Tom. Yeah, that Tom of yours.
All right, where are we going next game?
Well, let's see. We got. He started out 23. We got Sotie and no lineup.
Sotie no lineup. All right, we got right now a projection of Sotie Pantloads going to 2-1 with a 123 to 115 victory over no lineup. Both teams are 1-1, 6th and 8th place, and no lineup spotted got a 23.2-0 lead based on performances from Garrett Wilson and a terrible performance from Hunter Henry on Thursday night. Kyle, I'll start with you. This is your game. Does this projection hold? Are you going to take out no lineup needed and drop them to 1 and 2?
I think I will. Because like his other guy, he's Waddle. He's not going to do anything. I know that probably means Tyreek's not going to do anything, but like at least they might cancel each other out. Not the best start for him. Garrett Wilson getting 14 was even like lucky to get that. Well, I don't want to say lucky. No, lineup, proud owner, not lucky. But he didn't have much until that pass. And it was like, literally just kind of a little drop off, and then Hunter Henry 2 points. So if I'm no lineup, I'm probably not like too happy with that start. As Sotie Pantloads, I'm happy with that no lineup start. On my side though, I have to start Javonte Williams this week, or I have him slotted right now. Things could change. I know I am formerly Broncos 15. I love my Broncos here, but that offense is just so boring. I'm not even gonna watch that game. It's not something you want to have on your TV. So I do think though, like I think Jaden Daniels gonna have a nice bounce back game. And I think overall, like, Jacobs is going to get 35 carries again, so I like my chances. I think the projection is, like, accurate right now.
I think that Javonte Williams, given that Tampa Bay's offense has been cooking so much, I mean, they're not going to try to ride Bo Nix to keep up with Baker
That's
Mayfield.
right. They're going to
I think that
try
they'll have to try to get it done on the ball.
Yep.
And he looked better last week. He looked at the best of the 3 running backs that they've been throwing out there.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I think he's finally, like, coming around from the injury. So.
Walt, Sotie Pantloads over no lineup, or does no lineup move to 2-1 this week?
Nope, Pantloads win. I don't.
Wow, thank you.
Well, it's just like you said. You got, Wilson and Henry and kicker and only 23 points. That's a tough start. And I do think, like Derrick Henry, I think he's going to get a touchdown. I don't like no lineups matchups really that much. I think Lamar against Dallas, there might be a bit of a struggle. I'm sure he'll get some yards on. And Neighbors against Cleveland. Cleveland, should give the Giants' offensive line struggles. In my
Miles Garrett has injuries to both feet.
Oh, really?
Both now, yeah. All week they were talking about, his injured foot. Now they disclosed today injuries to both feet.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Well, with the Giants line, that still may not
He's got to face Andrew Thomas as the left tackle, one of the best left tackles in the game. I think that the Giants are going to hold, and they'll be back and forth. I think it'll be entertaining. I can't say they're going to win. Let's not lose ourselves in the moment here, but I think this is a good game, and I think Neighbors.
Yeah, so Neighbors could be the X factor here, but I still think the Pantloads prevail.
Yeah.
Right.
And no Debo, so Ayuk should
and Ayuk
should finally be relevant.
Yeah, I think so too. Yep.
Yeah, what a disaster in San Francisco right now. They such bad luck going on, but it's like that in BARFF too.
It's because worst team ever has stock in their team, so it's just they forget how to win.
All right, where are we headed to next?
Who do we have left? Let's see. We didn't talk about the Rifle and Eagles, did we?
We have not yet.
Yeah.
The defending champs, Soaring Eagles, taking on the Springfield Rifle. Right now, the projections have this one pretty close.
Yeah,
Soaring
look at
Eagles
that.
133 over Springfield Rifle 125. They're both sitting at 0-0 after Thursday night. Walt, who takes this game?
I think, the projections making it close, and I kind of feel the same way, honestly. I do. I hate to say it, Jordan. I kind of like the Rifle just a hair more based on a couple of matchups. I think, kind of point their way. Allen against that Jacksonville, Baltimore, Buffalo game. I don't know. I think there'll be some points put on the board. I think, Taylor, too, against Cincy, their deep run defense is a little questionable. So I'm just going to give a slight edge because of those matchups to the Rifle.
All right, Kyle, what do you think Soaring Eagles takes on the Springfield Rifle?
I do love the Rifle, but Soaring Eagles, like the Rams, they're only going to have really Kyron Williams to go to because both Kupp and Puka are out. Same thing with Miami, no Tua, so they're probably just going to give a Chan, whatever you can say,
sure.
5,000 ways. He's probably going to get a bunch of touches. The only thing, he took out his guy Monty Mole, which I know he loves, so that could be bad mojo, but I do think Soren is gonna walk away with this one.
Yeah, see, I don't like Darshan or whatever how he pronounces it.
A chain,
yeah, whatever.
Where's Tony in the chat?
Yeah.
We need the phonetic spelling here.
Because I think they're gonna crowd put a bunch of guys in the box and
but he also they put him out as a wide receiver. They do crazy stuff with him. So,
but the thing
there's no Raheem Mostert this week,
right?
No
and
Mostert.
so he's going to get all the snaps essentially.
Yeah, and he's a home run hitter. So if they're stacking the box, he breaks a couple of tackles. He's good. He could go to the house. So.
Yep.
That'll be interesting to see how that pans out.
Right now, this looks like the most interesting game of the week for
I agree.
me. Yep. And then that leaves us with the Boston Beans taking on Whopper Moppers, the Battle of Chucktown.
the battle of Chucktown.
Whopper Moppers right now projected to take this one handily, 131 over 112 for the struggling Beans. Walt, does Whopper Moppers move to 2-1, or do the Beans get in the win column this week?
Okay, I'm going to help you out again, Tony. I don't think so. I think the Moppers are going to mop up on the Beans. That it's going to be a one-sided affair. I don't. I mean, Gibbs against Arizona. I mean, I love Jefferson against Houston. Flowers. Like I said, Baltimore's offense is going to be fine against Dallas' defense. Dallas, I don't think, is going to be able to shut them out with Lamar being a threat to run all the time. So yeah, I think I like the Moppers. Rashid White, Aaron Jones, I'm not convinced. Jamar Chase, to me, still not in, full season form yet.
Yep.
And that's what happens. You take a whole, training camp off and don't play at all. Worthy, that's a home run hitter too there.
Right.
So there's a chance for the Beans. I think Worthy goes off, gets a long touchdown. You got some guys there that can do it. Chase, has a great week. Then it's a different story potentially.
I think his projection is so low because no one knows if Ingram's going to play this week.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
going to
that's
be
true,
week to
too.
week for a
Yeah,
while.
yeah.
He's going to
Yep.
drive owners crazy with this injury that he has now. And does do the Beans wait or do they just stick Fryermuth in? Are they on the waiver wire? Are they looking to work trades? We don't know.
Firemood sucks. So
Yes.
I would think
you can
there's
find
somebody out
anything
there.
better on the wire waiver.
Anyone that's playing the NFL from Massachusetts probably not very good. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't touch them.
Kyle, Boston Beans and Whopper Moppers. Who you got?
The bean, again, similar rifle. Love Tony, but the Beans might stink. The Beans, look at their team.
Who says the whole team is hurt? On the chat. He's weighing
AJ
in.
Brown.
That's hurt. That hurts,
He
right?
says the whole team's hurt, but it's really only AJ Brown.
Well, yeah.
Like Nick Chubb was hurt going into the
Right.
season.
But if AJ Brown's your whole team, then he can say his whole team's hurt.
that is a big because that's his. I think,
Yeah, it
that was
is.
his first round pick, right? Chubb,
Or second.
something like that. Yeah, or
Brown. You meant Brown.
yeah. So that's Xavier Worthy might not even get a catch. You never know.
That's his thing, but he could get 20 points easy too.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to go with Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Tony, they might stink.
All right, so that wraps up week 3 preview. Hopefully the games will be better. I mean, it's always fun to watch BARFF games, but those games were over pretty quick, and there was no hope for recovery.
Yeah,
So.
wasn't much going on in the chat because everything was just kind of.
Yeah, it was a pretty flat week overall in BARFF, so we want to definitely pick that up. And so, in addition to our first week of the Blitz, and again, failed on the graphic. So this week is this the week we have to start? The
So here's
Survivor
my
pool?
PSA for the BARFF. So, and we didn't want to do it this week again because we did a Friday podcast. Next week we'll be done earlier, so that'll be the kickoff of our Survivor pool.
Okay.
So anyone that wants in, I think I don't know, what do you want to do? Like $5 pitch
I think you
in?
said $5.
I think 5. So
$5.
let's make it 5, and submit your pick either via the group chat, via the podcast because it'll be earlier if you want to kind of talk about it and why, and I'll keep track of all of it and we'll start next week. So again, whoever you pick, you can't use again. So
we're
pick wisely.
You're picking of the 10 BARFF teams, you're picking one.
Correct.
And you hope to move on by being correct. And you cannot use that team again.
Correct. And you can pick your own team if you would like.
If you're feeling confident.
If you're feeling confident. If
You
you're
can
playing, say, the Beans,
you
you
can
might
fade-
say, I like my chances.
You can fade the Beans every week if you want.
It might work out that way.
That's what everyone's gonna do. I shouldn't have said that. Everyone's gonna do that. But and then we said what? We have to submit them by Wednesday night. Or
Yeah,
something
well,
like
we
that?
want it before Thursday's
Oh,
game.
we said Thursday.
Yeah. So before kickoff on Thursday.
7:59
Yeah.
p.m. something like that.
Yeah.
But I think that's the way to go.
All right. So next week begins BARFF
It
Survivor
does.
Pool.
I'm looking forward to it.
We're gonna have sponsors next year. DraftKings. We're gonna have a promo read for DraftKings at the start of every show.
That'll be its own segment next week. We're gonna get a nice graphic dialed in for that one also. And so next week we'll be blitzing somebody. We'll be blitzing a worst team ever next week, and then we'll be beginning the Survivor Pool. So exciting things happening on the pod. I like it.
Looking forward to it.
All right. Well, anything? Week 2 has come and gone. It's so early. We're in week 3 now. Is anything standing out to you as like a difference maker already in the season in BARFF?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about this because I think the thing I'm seeing already is, and we had it last year, but the injuries to key players already is having a huge impact, I think, on teams right now. It's incredible to me.
Yep.
Some, have done a decent job of, Tyler with having Mason as a handcuff there, but I'm amazed by some, Cup, Puka.
Oh, yeah. There's so many. McCaffrey,
Pacheco.
Everyone is going down, and you hear the training staffs and the coaching staffs talk, well, preseason, we hold our guys out. Their team loses. Oh, you're a bum for holding your guys out. They weren't ready. Team works its people out during the summer and during preseason games. Their people get hurt. Oh, you're a bum for putting those guys out there. I don't know how you win in the NFL.
No, it's really rough because it's amazing to me how much injuries play such a key role in like where you're gonna end up by the end of the season.
Yeah, I agree. Kyle, anything jumping out to you in fantasy and BARFF at this point in the season?
Yeah, I feel like this is like an overall NFL thing, but obviously it has a big impact on fantasy. Someone like was doing the past 5 years, the passing TDs through the first 2 weeks. It was like 100-something, 90-something. Then last year was like 80-something. This year is 67.
Really?
The first 2 weeks. So looks like they're just kind of dropping off. So maybe leads a little bit lower scoring, but also if you look at our league last week, 5 teams had like over 150.
Yeah,
so,
it's hard.
I don't know where the points are coming from.
Right.
Well, I think that's a product of guys not playing.
That too.
The preseason, they're not playing.
And I feel like the defenses just like
they have an advantage.
They have an advantage the first 2 weeks, and they're just getting better every year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But there's also a trend right now in the NFL where if you look at who is starting at quarterback across the league, so many of these players are young and they are expected to play the first week.
Exactly.
And it's just in the old days that would never happen. You could take that number one guy and he's going to learn for a year and then be ready before he goes out. Now there's so much pressure. You look at what happened with Mac Jones, and now the same thing. They're destroying Bryce Young.
Bryce Young's already getting benched.
It's a disaster.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence was thrown in the fire, and he has never really lived up to his potential. You could go on and on and on. And
so true.
For every C.J. Stroud, there's 5 guys that are struggling.
Yep.
It's not terrific.
Not a single rookie quarterback has thrown a touchdown yet.
Yeah, it's gross.
It's crazy.
It's gross. Jaden Daniels didn't need to, though, because the Giants scored 3 touchdowns. He didn't need to score anything. You just get the kicker out again, everyone.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yep.
Shouldn't be allowed. All right. Any final remarks on episode 2?
No, other than we are week 3 already. It's
crazy. It's going fast.
Yeah. So my advice, you can't sit on your hands and barf, man.
No, it goes too fast.
You better don't let it. Let the season pass you by.
Yeah. All right.
That was like the waivers this week. I was worried.
I know, and that's. I think I was going to bring that up.
I was against one bid, I think, and I bid on every single guy.
Yeah.
So.
Next week, episode 3, we're going on the road.
We are.
Unless terrible things happen, we will be broadcasting from the Granite State of New Hampshire next week. I have no idea what that's going to look like. It's exciting.
You will actually see what a real bunker looks like, because we're going to. Worst team ever.
We are going to be
undisclosed location.
So if you want to see worst team ever is going to get the Blitz next week, and we're going to start the survivor pool, and a lot of exciting things happening for our next episode. So stay tuned, and we hope to get a lot of callers next week. We hope to get some participation, and more to come. We'll be giving out the information on date and time ASAP, and we'll do some promos as we move through the week.
Yep, I'll make the tinfoil hats. We'll be ready to go.
You put like burlap
I love it. All right, that is our show, and I will try to get the music playing, and that's it, everybody. It was good to
good luck, everyone.
See you guys. Thanks for coming down, Kyle.
Good luck, no lineup. Nice. Success.